Eric Cantor is out. Dave Brat is in. Is the takedown of one of the most powerful Republicans in the United States proof that America is fed up with Washington as usual? Joining us right now is radio talk show host and former presidential candidate Herman Cain. Joins us from the great state of Georgia. Good morning to you, Herman.
Mr. Ducey, happy to be with you.
It's great to have you as well. So, you know, the prognosticators and the pundits, they've been talking about what happened to Eric Cantor. What do you think? Was it the amnesty thing? Was it people are sick of Washington, D.C.? Was it the fact that he never went back to, he didn't go back to his district as much and do as much retail politicking as a lot of other guys?
I think it was a little bit of all of the above. But the one thing that no one has mentioned is the fact that the leadership in the House has backed off of a major promise that the leadership made a couple of months ago, and Eric Cantor was the spokesperson when they said they were going to put forth repeal and replace legislation for Obamacare. Then just last week, Steve, they backed off from that because it was reported that some Republicans were getting a little waffly on that. The bottom line is the American people, as indicated by this defeat of Eric Cantor, they are tired of broken promises, number one, and they are tired of the Republican leadership at times being too soft and not pushing for the kind of things that that Tea Party attitude is looking for.
Sure, and we should point out that Dave Brat, who some have suggested he's a Tea Party extremist, he tried to get the Tea Party interested, and apparently they didn't have the money to support him. There were some members of the Tea Party who voted for him and worked for him, but he's not the Tea Party candidate. You listen to him, he's a free market guy, he's a capitalist guy who quotes Ronald Reagan, who is depicted in that Steve Penley painting behind you.
Right. See, what a lot of people misunderstand, Steve, is that Tea Party is an attitude of less government, less taxes, and more individual responsibility. Anybody that runs on those principles, and Dave Brat ran on those principles, they will garner the support of people who share that Tea Party attitude.
Sure.
And here's one other interesting thing that I believe that helped him to win, even though he was outspent in all of those other political factors. Social media, as well as the Tea Party ground game, or the Tea Party attitude people ground game,
right.
That's what helped to get him over. So
Sure.
as a result, candidates that may not be prominent have a much better chance of winning some of these elections, unlike they might have been able to do, say, 10 years ago.
Sure. Speaking of prominent candidates, Hillary Clinton's got a new book out. She's kind of emerging. Some is depicting her as the victim in chief. Her first interview, she said, you know, when we left the White House, we were dead broke with $12 million coming in book deals and whatnot.
Yes. As a good friend of mine often says, I almost care. But right now, she's rich. And what difference does it make? The more important issue, Steve, revolves around all of this attention that she's getting, and she hasn't even declared, and the Democrats haven't had a convention yet.
Right.
My advice to Hillary is don't start measuring the drapes for the Oval Office too soon.
Are you suggesting you might be measuring the drapes? Are you thinking about another presidential run?
I'm not a drape measurer. You know, the motto of this country is, in God we trust. My motto is, in God I trust. Now, some people interpret that as saying he's thinking about running for president. I know making a decision to run for president is not a casual decision.
Right.
What I'm saying, Steve, quite honestly, is I haven't closed the door, and I never say never. So I just tell people to stay tuned because a lot of things can happen between now and 2016. I want people, conservatives, to focus on taking back the Senate in 2014. That's job one.
All right. Herman Cain, who is not a drape measurer, joins us today from the beautiful state of Georgia. Herman, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
All right.